And we're live, I think. I think we're live. Oh, seems like we're a little bit late. See, we cut off Restream today to see if that would improve it, and I just noticed how bad the camera's aligned back there. We're listing like a ship right now. I'll have to fix that for Monday. No fixing it now. We're live. We're out doing the job. So it is Friday. I got this in the mail yesterday. It's hard to see. I'm going to give you a better view of it today. It's much larger than I thought it was. I need a red cup for Cup of Cyber on Fridays, because we wear red on Fridays. That's what we do. But if you look, it does have the American flag with the "Remember Everyone Deployed" red on it. It's massive. This thing's like 30 ounces. Great for the beach. Great for the lake. Great for summer coming up. Might be a little overload for coffee. I'm making my coffee workout going on this morning. But it's a nice cup. It looks. We'll go over the details of it later. I gotta an inside look at it later. How are you guys doing? How's Friday treating you? Are you ready to take on the weekend? I used to work for a warrant officer. As you get older, one of the benefits as you get older, you get all these catchphrases that you can reuse. And I had a warrant officer I used to work for, and one of his famous catchphrases on Friday was "only 2 working days till Monday," which I think is definitely on point for most of us. Hopefully you have some good things planned. Hopefully there's good stuff going on Monday. We've got a basket of stuff to talk about today. Not as much as yesterday, but we got some good things to talk about in the news today. It's always stuff going on. So hold on. We'll throw the logo, the teaser back in, and then we'll be right back. So welcome back. Let's jump into the news. Rearrange and recombobulate things. Move my little self-image up there. So first thing we got is the Golang, or Go language, or even more expanding on that, Google's language. So this is a language developed by Google, generally for accessing database sets or data sets, big data that Google is known for. So Golang is the kind of the Go language. There is a backdoor that's been out there kind of knocking on Linux boxes with this Golang. It's been expanded now. So there's new backdoors in it, new pool of exploits adding to its attack patterns. And now not only does it go after and infect Linux machines, now it's got the ability to infect Windows machines. Really, what this good old-fashioned crypto mining. So this particular bug installs crypto mining payload called XMRig, and it mines for Monero cryptocurrency specifically. It doesn't just affect the Golang. That's its primary target, but now it goes after Oracle WebLogic, it goes after Elasticsearch, it goes after PHP framework, it goes after Hadoop and Redis and MS SQL or Microsoft SQL, and it just tries to brute force stuff. It tries to get in, and now it's adding an additional backdoor to its exploit. Folks that are really tracking this thing, Barracuda Networks, they're keeping track of it. They're seeing what's going on. Golang itself is about a 10-year-old programming language designed by Google. This target, this malware is really trying to get the crypto miners installed on servers so that it can do crypto mining, and that's really the cache that comes out of this thing. But we think what the backdoor is there for later exploitation. So not only does it do concurrent stuff, there is some chance for later exploitation which is always what we worry about. We worry about that APT more than maybe anything else. There's a ton of stuff we have to worry about out there. There's a ton of problems we have to worry about. But this thing, just know that now it's after your databases. It's after database servers generally, Linux and Windows now, and it's using this Google language or Golang as its primary target. But that's not the only way it's getting in now. So just know that it's been tagged now, Golang, as the worm. Make sure it's a worm. Yeah, it's a worm. So only thing we can do to protect against this thing is patch our systems, keep them patched, keep them updated, keep things locked down. That's a good question, Alex. Let's throw that on the screen. So, Alex saying, what would a bad actor need to do to exploit this vulnerability? What would be the common attack pattern? Well, that's an awesome question. That's really that's what we used to call a leading question. Perfect question, though. So, really, the threat actor, once this is packaged, once they target a network, this worm is going to self-infect things. So if you have something on the internet that has open ports, and let's pick one of these new targets, one of the new CVEs that are out. So we got CVE. Let's CVE 2017, old CVE, but apparently it's out there still. 10271 for Oracle WebLogic. So we'll put the worst case scenario. You've got a WebLogic machine that's sitting in a DMZ or sitting worse than that facing the internet. The attacker could scan looking for Oracle WebLogic, test the machine for that vulnerability, and then run this worm against that machine. Now here's where the bad stuff happens. Because it's a worm, once it's on that machine, it's going to start scanning other machines on its local network or that it can reach to infect them as well. So it's going to look for other WebLogic machines, other PHP machines, Elastic Search machines, Hadoop, Redis, anything that it can find those other vulnerabilities on, and then it's going to self-replicate. And that's how we know the big difference between a virus and a worm is that the virus needs someone to click on it to make it happen. The worm is going to search for other vulnerable systems and move it around on its own. Romeo, good morning. Nice to see you here. That must mean you're not doing the study group. Good to see you. So really, and the other thing is, if there's this box that's on either the DMZ or externally facing the internet, if it's on the internet or it's got the ability to reach the internet, it's not only going to scan your servers, it'll start scanning machines on the internet to pass it along on other machines that it can find on the internet. So anywhere this machine can see, so to speak, any networks that infected machine can see, it will try to spread this worm to those other machines, and then they'll do the same thing. So that's why worms are so fast, so terrible. They don't wait. Like we talk about Trojans, we talk about viruses. Those things wait for a human or something to click a link or install something. Worms don't. Once they're installed on a machine, they immediately start looking for other machines to exploit. That could be, if this infected machine's on your local network or your DMZ, that's where they'll look. If it's on your internet-facing portal, it's going to look across the internet, and it's just going to replicate. And most of the very, very fast malware is going to be packaged as a worm. That's a great question, Alex. You keep those ones coming. That's really what we need to know. And then, so obviously, the only protection we can have for things like these worms is we build that layered defense. We have defensive protections in place, firewalls, IDSs, IPSs, those kind of things. But we patch our system. So in that Oracle WebLogic example, that CVE is 2017-10-271. So that came out in 2017. So obviously, Oracle normally is known for doing quarterly patches, which is slow. But 2017, there's been a number of quarterly patches since then. So the big thing is patch your systems, have layered defense, follow good security practices? So, excellent question. The how is a great point. I think, Alex, you have a great point there. Understanding the how is great. How are these things moving around? And that's keep us focused. One of the things you may have heard me, I just pointed out Romeo joined. Romeo's got if you follow along with the morning show, you may have heard a couple weeks ago now, I think last week or the week before. Time kind of blends together. I think it was last week. I joined Romeo in his study group. He's got, I think, like 8 people. Every morning, get together and talk security for a couple hours. Getting ready for Security Plus exam. Excellent. We want to see people moving forward in the field. And the nice thing about it is folks from around the world, all over the place. And I think, a good percentage are female, which I think is important now. I think there are 3 females in the group of like 6 or 8 people. So excellent group he's got going. So good morning, Romeo. Another thing we've got, if you've ever been in a SOC, and this image is fairly close to what a SOC looks like. Not some are smaller, some are much larger. Security operations centers. Oh yeah, Romeo, if you want to, yeah, Alex, we get you a co-host seat on this thing. If Alex, if you got time to share any information about your date and time of your study group, we throw it up on the screen. You can have other people join. I don't know how many people you can manage. It goes over Zoom, so I know there's definitely a limit there. But man, those guys, we spent like about an hour together, hitting really good questions. So excellent work he's doing, keeping things moving forward. It's really good talking to him. So if you know this, if you've ever seen a security operations center or a SOC, this is kind of what they look like. Typically, some are bigger, some are smaller, but it's generally a bunch of screens that you're watching. A lot of times they'll say, if you're in the SOC, you're watching glass. That's a common term we hear. It's like an insider's term, but you're watching glass because you're normally just watching all these screens for event logs to come up, or a security event management system to throw an alert or something like that. Security operations centers are a place that a lot of people start their career. You go in there and maybe you're doing the mid shift or you're doing the overnight shift, and sorry, I'll throw that up in a second, Alex. I'm getting myself distracted. It's one of the places you start because there's like mid-shift and overnight shifts that a lot of people don't want to do. And as they become more advanced in security, sometimes people will leave those jobs and go do something else in security or something else in IT. Some people love it. Some people love to be able to work nights or love to be able to work when other people aren't around. But there's a study, this Ponemon Institute, maybe saying that wrong, but they did a survey, and they were finding out, as you would expect, people that work the SOC are getting burnt out. The importance of investing in a SOC remains high. 72% of the respondents categorize the SOC as essential or very important to their organization's overall security strategy, which is up 5% over the year before. Looks like the cybersecurity budget for organizations rose $6 million to $31 million on average, with the SOC representing more than 1/3 of that total. There's a lot of people that you get strong investment in groups like this. There's a lot of training. There's a lot of effectiveness that's shown to the organization by a security operations center, but apparently, according to the survey, and I believe it because I've seen how hard people work on these SOCs. According to the survey, the pain barriers facing SOC teams are universal and worsening. Higher performers citing 10% more pain at the extreme level, and virtually no different at the lower levels between 7 and 8. And the pain includes 70% suffer from the lack of visibility into the IT infrastructure. 64% combat turf or silo issues between IT and the Security Operations Center. 71% need for greater automation, especially as they continue to spend substantial monies and manual cycles on tasks to alert the staff. 74% on evidence gathering, 50% malware protection and defense. And environmental factors are driving a substantially higher pain, including information overload, which is at 67%, which is up from 62%, and burnout from increased workload, 75 from 73 in the last survey, and complexity and chaos, which is at 53% according to 49. One of the giant things, according to this survey, that's driving this is that there's just a skill shortage. There's not enough people to work the task. So in essence, you've got an understaffed SOC that is using a lot of manual processes that just can't keep up with the workload. They can't, and it just burns people out over time. So two things I think you guys need to know for this is one, it just shows, it highlights and stresses the importance of getting qualified people into the security field. I really can't say it enough. I can't say how short the field is of qualified people. And again, I'll go back to the group that Romeo's running. You know, they're itching to learn this stuff, itching to get their feet wet, itching to know more about it. So much that they're getting up wherever they're at around the world, and for I think 3 hours, starting at like 7 in the morning, they're studying like 5 or 6 days a week just to learn this stuff. It changes so rapidly, but this shows that there's opportunity. There's need for people in these roles, like the Security Operations Center. I always stress that the job, Information System Security Officer, as a great place to start because you're exposed to so much. The SOC is another place. You're going to be exposed to so much. And I know early on in your career that's hard. That's hard to, deal with, sometimes the long hours, the amount of fire hose of information coming at you. But after that time, after you get there and you start learning that stuff, you get that stuff under your belt, you're going to be so much more valuable to other organizations, to move around in your organization even to other jobs in security, because you're going to know so much. And that's why I say jobs like Information System Security Officer and Security Operations Analyst are so critical in your job progression, because the folks that have the seniority are going to unload so much stuff on you. Like as an ISO, the information system owner is going to unload all those security tasks on you, and you're going to have to do them. So you're going to have to learn them. Once you learn them, that's something you own. You own that knowledge now. Same thing in the Security Operations Center. Once you learn these attack patterns, once you learn how different programs work, once you learn how IT and security work together, and business and IT and security all work together, you become so much more valuable. So this could be in some cases a disheartening survey. The stress levels are high, there's overload, there's burnout. Yes, but that means there's opportunity in that field too. It's great opportunity. And I know a lot of people don't like to get up in the morning and don't like to be at work at 7 or 8 or 9 or even 10. If you're working something like Security Operations Center, normally they're 24/7. I mean, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they're always there. So if you want to work noon to 8 or the overnight shift, those chances are there. You can work one of those different shifts. Always look at these things that there's always going to be two sides to a coin, right? So when you look at something like the survey, and obviously it's in the show notes below, check the survey out, look what they're talking about, and then look at the other side of it. Look what they're saying. One of the things they stress is, there's too many manual processes that need to be automated. Well, if you're trying to get into a SOC, figure out what those tools are, what programming language they use, what scripting language. Normally there's a way to automate tasks. If you can go into that interview and be able to explain, yeah, I know YAML, which is yet another markup language. I know YAML, and I know that your tools use YAML, and I can automate some of your scripts while I'm working in the SOC. How much more valuable does that make you? So just look at some of these things. Look at the survey and look at all the negatives they point out, and say, okay, how can I turn that to my advantage to get me a job? Now let's throw Alex's question up on the board, or Alex's statement, I think is more like it. There's a rumor that is more than a support group under the ruse of a study group, but that would be fine too. We just need to know how to join. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I know Romeo might be holding back, and I know normally it was like the day I joined, Romeo's probably driving. I think he drives to work. So he may not have the opportunity to respond back. Well, I'll follow up with Romeo if you can't get anything back on the screen today because he's driving. We'll follow up and see if we can get, maybe we can kind of support him on his Zoom account. Maybe we can get some help to get him a bigger account or something like that to get more people in there. I'm sure there's a way we can do it. And I would, Galaxy, you're right. Just talking with that group. It is definitely a support group. It's a study group. It's a support group. It's good stuff. It is really good stuff. Next up, okay, this one, Facebook. I love Facebook. HackRead is this is the first article I've got from HackRead, and I've got to kind of go, yeah. The way they wrote this up. Recently, HackRead.com identified a Facebook phishing scam, and yeah, I love them. They brought it up. They brought it back to the surface. This is important to get back out there because it's not just Facebook. It's also Instagram. It's on Instagram, and there's at least 2 variants I've seen, and there's probably a ton more. The variant they're talking about that's running around on Facebook is, I've seen this one probably a year ago, and it's the old trick. They're saying, hey, you've been spotted in an X-rated video that's been leaked online. The video is titled, I think you appear in this video, and I'm really impressed, and then asking for you to confirm it. But when you click on the video, obviously it takes you to a scam site, and it tries to load some malware, and then if it can exploit your system, then it sends that same message to everyone on your friends list. This is the one I've seen. This is the honey I'm old attack. This has been around for a while. The newer variant that I've seen just yesterday, and maybe I need to post an article so I can say I discovered it, which I didn't. Emily on our team actually found this, and it's probably been around for a little while too. It's on Instagram, and it's saying that your Instagram picture has been put in for an award, and it's in this group of pictures. Check it out to see how you can get more votes for your picture, so your picture can be the winning picture. And it's the same thing. When you click the link, it takes you to a malware site and tries to infect your system. The bottom, the rule of all this is, these phishing scams are going to be out there. They're not going away. This is an old school one. This has been around for a while. Yeah, Mike. Good morning. Yeah, that's what Mike is saying. A great point here. Social media, my social media is poison. I'm in a double-edged sword situation myself, trying to get traction for this site so we can get more people in the field. So it puts me on a diverging path, I guess. The point is, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Going back to Alex's point, how do they attack these things? What are they going about? The point is to get you infected, and then once you're infected, to spread to other machines and spread. And this is typical of phishing, to get you to click on it and get infected, and then they can use your contacts to attack more people. The way that we protect against it is just education. This is, to Alex's point, the way they're going to try to infect you is either they're going to directly target you with a phishing scam. They're going to be the one directly attacking you, or once they've attacked somebody that malware is going to auto spawn the message to go to the contact list, and if you're on that contact list, it's automatically going to go to you, and they're going to wait for you to click that link, and then if you do click that link, it's going to infect you, and then everybody on your contact list will get the same message, and it'll keep going that way. And then depending on what malware payload they're carrying with this, it could be to exploit information off your system, it could be to install a crypto miner, it could be to even lock up your system to do some type of crypto lock or something like that. So the big point is obviously, keep an eye out for these things. If it there you go. So the point is just education. If, again, like I say this probably every morning, if you are the security person for your group of friends, if you're the security person for your organization, if you're the security person for your family, let them know, hey, this is going on. If you get a link that says your picture's been nominated or we've seen you in a video, just know these are scams. These is not the real thing. Here we go. Oh, that's why you're here this morning. So, Romy said, we just completed all the Sec Plus domains with Gibson's books. We're on a week break. When we return, we'll start tackling the practice questions. Everyone is welcome to join. Send me a message here. I'll work as the broker for that as well, Romy. If folks watch this later in the day and want to comment below, that'd be a good way to get in contact with you too. We can use that comment area below. We can facilitate and get people in contact with Romeo. I can't say enough about that. It's a really good group. Yeah, just the old stuff is out there. The phishing stuff's going to be out there. It's going to be out there probably forever. Yeah. Putting everybody's stuff on the screen. Main tenet of SEC is situational awareness. If you can't defend against it, you're not aware, and you don't know what you don't know. And the problem is, we've been around this field for a while. If you've been around a while, you know that getting that information to your end users is the hardest part. Pushing awareness, pushing information, pushing that knowledge to the end user, to the programmer or the admin folks that are working, processing paperwork, or HR, those folks that are outside of security or outside of IT. It's hard to get that information to them, and we need to share with them, this is why this is bad. This is why you don't want to click that link. This is why all that is not good. I think our last big story, official story, from the White House, it's really from the Hill. A bipartisan group of lawmakers on Thursday introduced legislation in the House that would establish a national security director to lead the efforts on cybersecurity. And I'm torn about this because it's an appointee position. So first of all, someone's got to be appointed by the president, and then that's got to be approved by the Senate. I believe. So this becomes one of those political positions. It's not a technical position because it's an appointee. Hopefully, the current president and any future presidents we get leave this position in place, and it becomes a technical position where we don't use it as a bargaining chip for election fodder. So the position would take over many of the responsibilities of the White House Security Coordinator, a position that was eliminated in 2018 by former National Security Advisor John Bolton following the departure of the former Cybersecurity Coordinator Rob Joyce. This was a bipartisan effort from the House by both Republicans and Democrats to get this going forward. So it's not one side or the other leveraging. It's both sides realizing we need this, especially with the coronavirus that hit us and the the expansion of work from home and the reliance on the cybersecurity infrastructure, this is just a critical position. Obviously, this has just started its way through Congress, so it's got to go through the Senate as well, and then it's got to get approved by the president. But it's just showing the importance of this. There's sponsors from both sides of the House, Republicans and Democrats, that are pushing this forward. It's even got the support of the former cybersecurity coordinator, Michael Daniel. He was under Obama in that position. He backed the bill on Thursday. So it's important. I think it's important to get this going. I hope that all administrations, current and future, all will look at this as a position not of political favoritism or paying people back for political favors, but use it as a truly technical position that can help increase cybersecurity across the government. That's all we can hope for. That's all we really can hope for. This position might tie into FISMO-MB directives and other legislation on cyber. Yeah, Mike, I would definitely see that, and definitely that tie into OMB. I'd like to see how that tie into OMB, because we know the Office of Management and Budget pushes things forward, like the FIPS requirements, so that we do push security, especially across government organizations. That would be interesting. Let's see, what do we think? Cyber-Recon video on how phishing works would be great. The why, the profit, the motive, how to tie in techniques, how the hello Friday, how the techniques are used, and the top 5 countries where spam comes from. That's a great idea. We'll get that on the list. I still owe a couple folks some videos too, so that'd be good for next week. Why ISPs can't do more, domain keys, how spammers get email addresses, and what people can do to see if the email is legitimate. Yeah, I think the how, the why, defensive stuff, and offensive. We talk a little bit in the Security Plus prep, the difference between whaling and spear phishing and those things, social engineering tactics. I think that'd be a great, maybe even a couple videos on that. And I've also often thought about doing things from kind of this red-blue perspective. How do you defend against it, and how are the attackers using it? And that kind of falls right in line with what you're talking about, Alex. That's a really, really good idea. I love the morning show because so much stuff comes out of it. I think, I don't know. I don't know how it differs from the CyberZar. I think, if I remember right, the assignments or the responsibilities of CyberZar were more like an IT, like a CIO versus a CSO. I think would be the difference in this case. If I'm correct to remember how the CyberZar's tasks are lined out, I think the CyberZar, which is kind of a misnomer, works more like as a CIO in that CIO role, and this new position would be more like a CSO or a CISO. I will have to look into that, Alex. I'm gonna have to watch this video and take notes just on what Alex is talking about this morning. Great stuff. I love the interaction this morning. I'm gonna switch over real quick to the. Oh no, we have one more. We got one more. What's going on? Buying up domains used for spamming. A lot of companies leaving open relays on MX servers. Yeah, we actually talked about open relays internally. Emily was bringing that up yesterday. Open relays are bad. And I'm with you. The mail servers, these SMTP relays, or Microsoft Exchange relays, more specifically, you're talking about, mail servers, I shouldn't say. I automatically, when I see MX, I automatically think of Microsoft Exchange, but you're right, MX could be just a normal SMTP server. I can't believe they're out there still. It just amazes me. I can't believe there's still cross-site scripting in code, too, though, so... and then Why would the position not just be part of the responsibility of Cyber Command? I would think there would be some. I hate to say the posse comitatus. How you say that? The distinction between what the military can do to civilian organizations, including those in the executive branch. I don't know if there's some separation there that has to be taking place. It can't be too strict because we see the NSA doing stuff like that. It's good. I think there's a lot of stuff to unpack about this new position. Video on cyber, the cyber governance landscape, laws, regulations, entities, players. Yeah, that might be a nighttime one. That I could put some people together. There is a lot of ties. D-Nice, usually on the morning. D-Nice, I don't think is here this morning. Ask for video explaining the difference between like FIPS 200 and NIST 853, which is in the works. Mike also said Shodan's great for open source intelligence gathering and footprinting. Yes, it is a great tool. There's a bunch of great tools out there. And Romeo saying, just came across a website. Oh yeah, that's that. I'm reading backwards through the. Okay, yeah, Mike already took care of this, I guess. I'm just catching up, Mike and Romeo. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's a ton of stuff. That new position's got a lot to unpack. Maybe that's why they decided to get rid of it initially. Love to collaborate. Oh yeah, I can pull you, Mike. We can always collaborate. There's a ton of stuff we need to do, and we all just need time, right? We do need our weird holiday of the day, though. Let's throw the strange holiday. This is the what's this group called? The National Dog Sitters International. It's Take Your Dog to Work Day, which I think is funny because most people are taking their dog to work because everybody's working from home now. And their dogs like Piper and Coda here love to show up and show out and do everything. So it's Take Your Dog to Work Day. I put the link from Dog Sitters International in the show notes below, so you can check it out if you'd like to check it out, see more about things you can do and things you can do with your dog. God, we had great interaction this morning. Awesome interaction. A lot of stuff to unpack. A lot of stuff that we're probably going to have to return to next week. Remember, the times fly by. Next week is 4th of July, so we're probably not going to broadcast Friday morning. I think I would get in trouble if I did. So the chief operating officer of the house here is probably going to keep me from broadcasting Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll unpack some of this stuff. I think there's some really good stuff. Alex, you brought up. Mike, you brought up some great stuff. Romeo will close some circles on what we can do to help you maybe get going with a maybe much larger group. You got to watch out when Alex brings something up. Alex is part of a group of how many 1,500 security professionals here in Virginia, just northern Virginia. I don't know, Alex. Maybe you got. I don't know the current numbers of the Nova folks. It was huge last time I looked. Maybe get the numbers up there. But let me show you what we got going here with this particular. If you weren't here at the start, this is the red cup I've been talking about. I need a red cup. And I ordered this one, and it does have the official. It's hard to see there, but the official American flag with the red. Remember everyone deployed on it. And what I've got is. Built to Perform, Patriot. This is a Patriot. This cup comes from a company that gives a bunch of its money back to the community as well. So I love the box. Patriot box. It's got the American flag on it. Can't go wrong there. Work on this overhead camera. So these are huge cups. 30 ounce cups. Here you can see a much better. Ways I gotta go. Red. There we go. Well, it's backwards, and so it's laser etched in there. Remember everyone deployed. 30 ounces is huge. They're saying how I forget that somewhere on here. Oh, 48 hours cold and 6 hours hot. Huge cup. Hopefully the stuff's in here. They'll give you a nice sticker. So what they do, here's their card. This is what Patriot's all about: helping build helping build homes for our injured veterans. You guys probably can read better than I can. So that's where the cups are coming from. Patriot Coolers proudly supports our veterans, homes for our troops. So you can't go wrong with a company like that. This particular cup here, this one we've got here, that is still new and in its box, we're going to figure out what we need to do to give this thing away. So you can share a big old cup of red coffee with me. It is a nicely built, nicely done, big old. I like that side there. We'll leave that side up. I like that side. It's an awesome cup. I mean, it really is. I'm not sure how I like it for coffee. It is staying exceptionally warm in here. Good quality, well built, but it's just gigantic. It's huge. It's a huge cup. So I'll figure out how we're going to give this thing away, or give that one away. Maybe we'll do that next week. Give that away and get it out in the mail. Mike Bravo, if you win that too. As you guys know, if you were here for Trivia Night, Mike Bravo is probably he's not the reigning champion, but he's got the most wins for sure. So that rounds us out. That's great. I need to come back and take notes on everything we talked about. It's great to see you guys in the morning. I hope you guys are safe this weekend. Hopefully you've got good stuff planned. Hopefully you're going to go out and take some downtime. Enjoy yourself. Today, coming in the mail, I'm going to give you a preview of what we're going to look at a little bit next week. Coming in the mail today is the Ubiquiti Unified Dream Machine. Had to order it from Ubiquiti, so I couldn't get it from Amazon. It was like $100 more on Amazon. Ridiculous. And I got the 8 terabyte hard drive so that we can install the cameras. It'll do what they call Unify Protect. This thing is firewall. It's IDS, IPS. It can handle a 10 gigabit connection. I don't have that in the house here. It handles cameras and recording. It's controlled from the cloud, controlled locally. It's part of what we're calling not UTM, UDM, Unified Dream Machine. It's a cool piece of Ubiquiti machine. Can't wait to get this stuff installed. We got the Ubiquiti access point. We got 2 Ubiquiti cameras. We got a Ubiquiti power over Ethernet switch to power everything, because these devices all pull power from power over Ethernet. So we're going to walk through that. It's what we're calling our second stage, or second level networking. So we're starting with just the router that you get from the internet company. In our case, Xfinity. Then we're going to move on to a access point that you can buy from Best Buy or Walmart or wherever. How to secure those, and then we'll move into this first level or second level networking. What we expect to see in a decent small office, home office. And again, we'll run the prices up. We'll give the cost list. Again, another great thing Alex pointed out. We'll have a build sheet and the topology of how we're doing it here. And if you want to follow along at home, I'm sure we kept everything well, even including the cameras and the hard drive within the UDM. I think we're still well under $1,000. And I know that seems like a lot if you're building stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're having a small office or home office and that's your livelihood, I mean, it's kind of a small price to pay, especially when everything just works well together. And a lot of people get on me because I like Apple stuff. I used to, for the longest time, I didn't touch Apple because, Linux guy, you gotta stay with Android, you gotta stay with Linux machines, you gotta stay with even the evil empire of Windows. I went to work for a company and they used a lot of Apple stuff, and Apple stuff just works together. If you've got a MacBook Pro and you've got a phone, an iPhone, they just work together. They work. It's one less thing you have to do. And under the hood, I convinced myself, under the hood it's still Linux, right? So Ubiquiti's the same way. It all works together. I like that. The Linux rules. Windows rules. O'Doyle. It worked. This system works together. You set up the UDM. It keeps all your configurations. It used to have a cloud key. Now it's all within this device. You plug in an access point and you adopt it, and it brings it right into the system. I can't wait to get it going. We got to get the first stuff done first. We got to get that level, what I call level 0, done first, where we're going to talk about the stuff that comes from the cable company. Level 1 with the stuff you can buy for a couple $100 at Best Buy or Walmart or Target, wherever. And then we'll move to this level 2 system, which is really going to be the fun one to build. It's going to be the fun one to build. And if you're playing along at home, we'll get the build sheets out, spec sheets out, early enough that if you want to buy pieces, parts, and play along, you'll be able to do that. So, that being said, it's Friday. I think it's time to go get ready for work and face the day. It is, 2 working days till Monday, as I said earlier. And the other catchphrase to know is every morning is a Monday and every night is a Friday. So be safe out there. Be good. Share with your friends if you can. We got a lot. I think we got a lot to close up. A lot of open items we have to close up next week. Thank you for that, everyone that's commented this morning. A lot of stuff to unpack and work through. Shodan would be a good thing to talk about too. Shodan's a very powerful tool. I'm trying to think of the tool on Backtrack Kali. Know the guy that put it together. He used to be out here in DC for a while, and he moved back out to like Iowa or something. I'll have to dig that one out. Let's get on. Well, you want to collaborate? Mike's saying let's get on open source. Open source intelligence. Let's get on. Maybe you and I can talk about that, Mike. Maybe put some stuff together, and we can put you in front of a camera. Yeah. If CVEs about CVEs and CVSS we talked about yesterday. I think a class on what a CVE is, and more importantly, what a CVSS is, and how we can get the CVSS score with the local variables. And I know they don't call them local variables anymore. They've got a new name, and I'll have to dig that out. But you take that CVSS score that maybe is a 7.9 for everyone else, and then you run it through your local environment, and maybe it's a 5.2 or maybe it's a 10.0. That last part of the CVSS is so important, and again, a great job skill to have if you sit down for an interview somewhere. I can. I will be the broker. So, if anybody's watching this, throw me a comment below. We'll work on getting you hooked up with Romeo's morning study and support group. If you go to one of them, you're going to go to as many as you can. It's an awesome. It's about the same time this is going on, so I'm probably, cutting my own finger off to spite my hand or something like that. But it's a good group of folks. They're doing great things over there. Risk management must be dynamic, yeah. And people don't get that, Mike. People don't get that risk management isn't an event you do once a year or once every 3 years. Risk management has to be built into things you do every day. Every new vulnerability that comes out, every new piece of hardware or software you put on your network, every new process you develop has to go through that. Risk management has to be built into not only your SDLC, but it has to be built into the way your organization thinks. That's why NIST is trying to counter this. We have the RMF that takes care of your SDLC work, but then we have the cybersecurity framework, which takes care of like your SOC or your threat handling how that works. They're two different frameworks, but they handle things well, and they use the same catalog. Yeah, right. Yeah, rich compliance is you do this because you have to. CSF, yeah, CSF's a good topic. I have wanted to put together something on the NIST RMF and the CSF to show where they overlap and where they're different and why they're different. Because people think you can do one or the other, and they're the same. 171, another, yeah, ties into the I like to call that the mini RMF, the 171. Yeah, hardware listing, where you purchased, estimated cost, and better than that, estimated cost, and I can provide the links, which I can use my affiliate, and hopefully maybe that'll fund some things, like maybe we can take care of Romeo's Zoom with some money from what we get from affiliate links. I haven't really used them much, but I need to start using them. Because it doesn't cost the person buying the equipment anymore, and then the Cyber-Recon crew can get the little cut of Amazon's money to help keep things moving along here. Yeah. 171 versus what is the cyber maturity model? I can't think of the what's the acronym? You're gonna have to help me with that, Alex. That was cybersecurity maturity model, something. It's funny. Things are coming in faster on YouTube over here than they are on the stream here. Yeah, we could drag Mike into an interview. We can do a Zoom interview on open source intelligence if Mike has the if he would. Oops. Yeah, that'd be great to share. And that SANS Top 20, I know they've changed it. It's some French thing now. I still call it SANS Top 20. I think that is so important, so critically important, because that is not only the 20 controls, which we know it's more than 20 controls. It's like 60 controls when you unpack it all. But that's the controls you do in order, right? So if you can only do one control, you do number one. And it's always, always, always have an inventory of hardware. You got to have an inventory of your hardware or you can't protect it. And number two is always have an inventory of software. And then from there they change a little bit. But those are always 1 and 2. Or I guess if you're in Germany, 1 and 2. Yeah, that would be great to share. Yeah. Yeah. CVSS, why a SOC analyst should care or be concerned. And again, going back to Mike's comment earlier, all of these, we need to look at risk dynamically. The story we talked about earlier, there's a new that new exploit on the Google language, Golang. Do we need to care in our organization? Are we using any of those vulnerable systems? I mean, that's the biggest thing. Where do we put our money? Where do we put our resources? And again, that really ties to the other story is, why is the SOC getting burned out? Are they getting burned out because every time the CSO sees one of these news stories, he pummels the SOC with, hey, give me all this information on this. Where's it at? Make sure we're defended. When, that calculation of the local CVSS score is going to tell us, and everywhere else it's a 7.8, but in our organization it's a 2.4 because we barely run any of those and they're protected, and here's all the reasons it drives it down to that, and we should be looking at these other things that are more important. Man, every morning should be like this, guys. Every morning should be this type of dialogue. We've got, oh man, I can't believe it. Man, I wish this one was faster. Come on, wait for it to catch up now. A video, cybersecurity framework versus risk management framework. Who, what, where, when, how. Yeah, definitely, yeah. I'll put out a. We were going to have our broadcast schedule done today. Looks like we're going to have to. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to retweak that a little bit and get a lot of new stuff onto the schedule. I want to put a lot of this stuff we're talking about today front loaded because I think it ties into so many things and we need to get it out there. And if it is just getting Mike to show up, you got to drag him out of the skiff every once in a while. I guess we're going to have to do that. The time, I really can't mess with the time because I've got to, like everyone else, got to work some other job. So like 9 o'clock, I got to be on that one. So I try to get on here so we have plenty of time to get ready, get the news out, because I always want to look at the news of that day so we can start with that. But this is awesome. I got it. Man, got to thank you guys. There, thank you. Maturity Model Certification. Yeah, and that's just to know that, just to understand that, is important, because know where you are in your progression. Don't bother doing those advanced things if your organization is at like level 1 or level 2. Don't try to do level 3 and level 4 things if your organization's not there. Again, another reason why we get this burnout is because we're trying to do things we're not ready for yet. It's, and again, if you're going into security, if you're getting into this field, these would be great things to know. Is like, if you can walk in and say, yeah, this would be great to do, but we can't do it because we're in this cyber maturity model. We're here, and you're trying to do things that are up here. And we've got to get a path to there. It can be done, but we've got to close the gap on where we're at and where we want to be. Yes. Awesome stuff. Awesome. I don't know if I'm missing anything. I think we're going to have a nice day here in Northern Virginia. Hopefully it's nice where you're at. But yeah, give me some ideas. How are we going to give this cup away? How can we get it away? And how can we give it away? Yeah, this is the truth. It's exhausting when the folks you deal with just want to bolt it on, especially when they want to bolt it on and it's going live next week, or it's going live Friday and it's Wednesday. We can't do that. You got to push security as far to the left as you can as you move up. If you're in a position of any influence in your organization, push security as far as you can to the left. I used to love it when I was at when I did some consulting for the FBI. We were able to sit in on those kickoff meetings. Damn engineers. Yeah, exactly. We were able to sit in on the kickoff meetings. When you sit on the kickoff meetings, you say, okay, the product owner stands up there and they say, this is what I want this product to do. I want to do X. And I don't even know what hardware I'm going to use. I don't know what software I'm going to use. I don't know any of that. But here's the mission. Here's the thing, the pain I'm trying to solve for. So if the security person is there at that point and can talk about, okay, we're talking, now we know what kind of information. Okay, the information you're talking about is going to be PII. So immediately I know we've got this set of restrictions we have to put around it. That's a law. That's a legal requirement. We can't get away from this. Here's your starting point. Okay, now when we go to look at hardware and software, if we've got some of these frameworks or some of this idea of what the system's doing sketched out, maybe it's a law enforcement system that's supporting law enforcement, LEO, then we know we have to have trusted supply chain. Okay, now we know, okay, these products that you got on the list, we got to take off because they're not in trusted supply chain. They can't be there. So we do that up front. We build all those controls in. When they're starting to talk about what they're doing, we can talk to them about, okay, if you're going to use Linux, then okay, here's the FedRAMP controls you're going to have to use, or here's the CIS benchmark you're going to have to use. Know that when you build the system, here's what it's going to have all these controls in place. Oh, you're going to have wireless on it? Okay, well, here's the requirements around wireless. And we can build that. We can work together as they build the system instead of, like Mike said, and as too many of us have seen over time, at the end, they throw that on there and they go, we want to go live next month, or we want to go live next week. What controls do we need? And you give them 200 controls from NIST, or you give them a CIS benchmark that has 150 lines of control on it. People lose their mind around that. So that's the stuff we need to do. I'm going to get with Mike offline. I do have all Mike's contact information because I constantly shipping him prizes for winning trivia night. And we're getting, the other thing is we're getting some t-shirts made. So the one, we're going to do the RMF shirt. So that's coming out. And the other one is I just want to make some We Wear Red on Friday shirts. So those will be prizes we'll give out, and we'll probably set up a little crazy store on the website in case people want to buy them too, in case you can't beat Mike Bravo in trivia night. Yeah. So that's not just classified and unclassified. So Mike's comment, in case you're not around that world, is design a system for unclassified. We're building an unclassified system. So it gets built, and then when they get ready to deploy it, we're processing classified information too. That happens on the business world too. Hey, we're building this. It's just public data. We're building a public data system, and then it goes to launch, and it's got PII on it. It's got sensitive business data on it. It's got maybe research and design data on it. It's like you can't do that. There's two different systems. There's two different sets of requirements. It's not really two different sets. It's a set here, and then we're going to lay these other ones on top. You got more stuff to do. We need to know up front what you want to do, and that is a bit frustrating when you talk to these people that are building systems, because a lot of times they just don't exactly know what they want the system to do, and that's terrible. D-Nice, we were talking about you earlier. I'm glad you're here. We were talking about the request you'd had for the differences between FIPS 200 and NIST 800-153. We'll have that out next week. The folks on the chat, you're gonna have to go back and rewind this one. We talked about a ton of stuff beyond just the news this morning. This was a good one, and Mike's taking credit because he's here. Mike Bravo's taking all the credit for being here. So, but I realize we made it's been a full hour. Nice, you're gonna have to go back and watch it. I will close the loop with you on what day that's coming out. Mike will have to talk. Alex will have to talk. Paul, I haven't seen Paul. Paul might have to go to work by now. Romeo, we got to talk. We got a lot of talking to do with you guys, so I'll be contacting a bunch of you folks offline, just to close the loop. But that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up because it is Friday. Get out there, get things done. Do the one last thing. Don't just float through the day. Let's have a purpose. Let's get some stuff done. Close the week out on a high note, and let's make things happen today. Let's get some stuff secured up and do that. So please share with your friends, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. Throw some comments below. How are we going to give this cup away? Not this one, but the new one over there. Give me some ideas how we can give that thing away. Maybe we have some kind of contest, some kind of something. I don't know. Need some ideas. Let me know, and we'll leave with Mike's comment. Go out there and get some. Guys, be safe out there, and we'll see you on Monday. You guys be safe. Have a great weekend.